All right, here are the constructions that are going to be on the quiz. Construction number 1 asks you to copy and label a line segment. When you do that, you're going to take your compass and you're going to lock in the distance of this line segment. You're going to put your point at one end. You're going to put your pencil point at the other. And you are going to draw an arc to let me know that you've measured it. You're going to draw a line segment that's longer than your original one. You're going to transfer that distance over, lining up your point with one end point, and you're going to draw the arc showing that you transferred that distance from one place to the next. When it asks you to label whatever points it tells you to label, that's what you do. So if it asks you to label line segment AB, A and B are the end points. If it asks you to label your new line segment something else, whatever it asks you to do, that's what you do. Copying a line segment. Everybody okay with that? All right. The next is they might ask you to bisect your line segment. The word bisect means to cut it exactly in half. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your compass and you're going to adjust the pen so that it's just a little bit more than half. You're going to draw an arc below, and you're going to draw an arc above your line. Without moving the compass, you're going to repeat the same process using the other end point above and below the line segment. This is going to give you 2 points of intersection. When you're asked to bisect it, you have to draw that line connecting your intersecting points. If it asks you to label the midpoint, this point here is your midpoint, and that evenly divides that distance between the endpoints of your segment. Bisecting a segment. Now, the thing that was confusing on your sheet is they called it a perpendicular bisector, and you're like, wait, what's that? And I'm like, little did you know that that automatically is perpendicular. Perpendicular meaning the right angle. Everybody okay with that? All right. Your next construction that we're going to ask you to do is to copy an angle. So I'm going to give myself an angle, and whether it's obtuse or acute, it doesn't matter. It's going to ask you to label the angle, and it's going to tell you what it wants. So if, for example, it asks you to label angle RST, I don't care where you put R, I don't care where you put T, but the vertex has to be S. Do you get why? Because it's the middle point. So because this is in the middle, that means it's the vertex. Sound okay? All right. When it asks me to copy, what I need to start off with is a base of my angle. And you get to draw it however long or short you want. It doesn't matter. And you know right away that this vertex is going to correspond with your other vertex. So when you get your compass, the first thing that you are going to do is draw what we call a working arc. And your working arc tells you where in the arc you are working. And it doesn't matter how wide you open it, it just determines, hey, this is where I'm doing my measuring from. That same distance is going to come over to your copied angle, and you're going to repeat that working arc on the angle where you are working. So what that working arc does is it solidifies the distance from the vertex so that you can guarantee that you're working from the same spot. Make sense? All right. So your next task is to go back to the mouth of the angle. And when you go back to the mouth of your original angle, at that part where your working arc is measured, you need to figure out how wide is the mouth of the angle. So you'll take your compass and you'll go ahead and you'll measure how wide is this angle. And you'll try to get it just right because you want to lock in that distance. And you can draw an arc telling everybody this is where I measured. So when you save that distance and lock it in, you bring your compass over to this point of intersection between the base of your angle and the working arc, and you repeat that arc. And you get your straight edge, and you connect your vertex to that point of intersection. You've guaranteed that that angle is open the same amount at this same point. You just copied the angle. You've guaranteed that this measure of the angle inside of this space here, degree-wise, is going to be the same for each of the angles. That's construction number 3. Everybody good with that? Your last construction that you're going to be asked to do is to bisect the angle. When you bisect it, you want to cut the angle in half. So what you're going to do is you can set your compass to any arbitrary length, it doesn't matter. And you're going to take your compass and you're going to put one end point where your working arc intersects the angle of the base, and you're going to draw an arc out here in no man's land. Nobody cares how wide or how you measured that arc. That's just some arbitrary thing. Now what you're going to do is, locking in that distance, you're going to take your compass, put your compass point on the other intersection of the working arc and the other side of the angle, and you're going to draw that arc. So this intersection here, this point of intersection, is equidistant from each of these points of intersection of your working arc and the angle sides. Your last step is to draw your bisector. So you're going to take it from the vertex and you're going to draw a line through the points of intersection. Sound okay? That's construction number 4. Now you might be asked to label your new angle, and as long as you get the vertex right, you're good to go.